Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rise of the Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Brownie. And today we're here in yet another episode of our series of why Star Wars is great and Star Wars is terrible. We've now hit the most unfortunate thing we could have done. We have to tell you why Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope is terrible. So we didn't really think this out when we started doing this, and all of a sudden we got to think of reasons why Star Wars is bad.
Yeah.
And
Star Wars, A New Hope. We're saying it's terrible movie. That's why you click this. What are you doing here? Go live your life. It's not terrible.
we promise, we just came up with a bunch of reasons that are the most nitpicky, these are nitpicky reasons.
We're being nitpicky.
Okay, we thought we were being nitpicky with Revenge of the Sith.
No, this is higher.
That
than
was
that.
nothing. This is the queen of nitpicking.
So there are maybe 5 legitimate grievances we have.
And I'll give you an idea when those grievances happen.
But we're gonna start off with really just some stuff. So that's the whole thing of it, where there's gonna be a good one of these. Don't worry, it'll be 5 hours long, where we just throw love on top of Star Wars. But we have to be critical now and tell you why Star Wars is not a good movie.
That's
Please
correct.
don't unsubscribe.
All right. We'll dive in.
All right. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
Rip
Jeremy,
off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, kick us off here.
Well, as you can see, the movie opens. They're looking for the plans of the Death Star, and they jettison an escape pod. Now, you think if they're looking for plans, they wouldn't let anything escape from the ship.
Yes.
And that is the plot device for the entire movie.
There goes another one.
Hold your fire. There's no life forms. They must have short-circuited.
That's funny. The damage doesn't look as bad from out here.
Yeah, and it's been brought up by other people before too. This is a major plot hole. Someone's like, man, it's just so hard to automatically point a laser turret and let it go.
Now, okay, in defense, they said during the trench run their guns couldn't shoot something so small as an X-Wing.
The Death Star couldn't.
Well, no, the turbo
Not-
lasers on the surface, which I
Right.
think are probably tantamount to the type of.
And
Oh, you
on
agree
a
with
on
Kara.
a Star Destroyer.
Yes.
So, do you really think they'd be able to hit something small?
It would. So you know how you solve this? Just have them shoot at it and miss, and they'd be like, "Oh, we shot an escape
We
pod, but it got
tried,
to
we
the
tried."
surface."
Not a big deal because there's no life forms aboard.
Exactly. There we go.
Exactly. We
George
missed,
Lucas, we
but-
just fixed your movie.
Yeah, perfect.
50 years too late, or 42
I was going to say
years too
50,
late.
what?
Well, close.
Well, and
You
then,
could have had Luke's brother on the Star Destroyer say, "Really, that thing was no bigger than 2 meters. I shot womp rats like that back home."
Jeremy has read it from a certain point of view, and you kind of...
Oh, there's just a funny point of view that the guy who was doing his job, he got in trouble for not shooting that. So he wrote up a report that the window was too dirty to see out of. So they couldn't,
Which is clearly false when you're looking at it.
When you're
it's
watching
crystal
the movie.
clear.
Yeah,
The window washers for the Empire are on their game.
I was going to say, would the Empire let that fly? Dirty windows?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, cold windows maybe.
All right, so we've got another plot hole.
And this was your big thing.
Right.
And
All right.
we all agree a little bit on this one, but this is Jeremy's
It's a little
thing.
teeny tiny thing. There's just the scene when they go into the bar, and then the droids stay outside, and they were waiting in a little room, and the stormtroopers are going around, and they knock, knock, knock. Oh, this one's empty. Move on to the next one.
All right, check this side of the street. Door's locked. Move on to the next one.
He can tell it's empty or locked.
No, locked, yeah.
Just
Locked
by knocking.
by knocking on it.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, so it's obviously a locked door. There couldn't possibly be something somebody doesn't want me to see.
in there.
right.
I
mean,
think being the
okay.
Empire, the flame trooper would come and open the door.
I was gonna
and-
say it's still the trooper that Ben or
Oh.
Obi-Wan just went. These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yeah,
So
there's
I
nothing
mean,
in
he's
there.
still kind of lagging from the Force use there.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, and then I don't know if because other people have also brought this plot hole up. But I never hear somebody that's if you look, there's natural light coming in from the sides. It's is this just a random hallway?
Yeah, I've
in the
noticed
middle
that.
of
What is
nowhere?
that? Right,
What
right.
is this building that they're hiding in?
I know it's just like a locked hallway.
It's a droid storage.
Yeah, and whose house is this? If they're just running inside and locking the doors?
Yeah.
If a droid ran into your house, they're like, I'm not here, and lock the door. You're like, get the heck out of my
Get
house.
out of here, you know? It's like when you go to the pool and you get a key and you lock up your belongings.
Yeah.
That's where the droids go and lock themselves up.
I see.
The Empire is like, oh, they have droid storage at this bar. No one's here. So,
You know, it's just.
It
It's,
does seem like an unnecessary scene.
Yeah, like this is just a completely so to fix your movie part 2, George. Just cut that scene. Completely unnecessary.
Right, it added nothing
Yeah,
to
you
the plot
gained
line.
no knowledge, and they're just like, oh, the droids were hiding behind a locked door.
Right, but then all of a sudden, next scene, they're back with.
well, yeah, they
Obi-Wan and
go out
everybody.
again or whatever, but it's not a big deal.
Right.
It's
Just a little teeny tiny.
Yeah.
It's maybe he put it in there just to make people make internet videos.
Right.
Because
So.
internet videos were a thing back in '77.
Exactly.
I knew it was coming.
So we didn't really have. We sort of try and categorize our grievances or compliments, and this one didn't really fit anywhere else. But we didn't want to put it in miscellaneous, so we put it in the plot hole thing. It's not really a plot hole, but when the Falcon's escaping the Death Star and they have the shootout with the 4 TIE fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Chewie's flying it, but it's just like doesn't move.
Well, I've seen
It's
the
just
movie
sort
a
of-
ton, and I didn't really notice it until I was looking with a critical eye, like really trying to. But if you do go back and watch the scene, Chewie's doing nothing.
Yeah.
The thing's flying straight. You've got
It's the
Death-
exact same move that he puts on the 2 Star Destroyers when they're escaping Tatooine.
Right.
Let's just sit here, move until we do something.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, okay, they could have at least.
And you see him do maneuvers in the Death Star fight.
Right.
You know that it's capable of doing it in hindsight.
Right.
So it's like, why is Chewie even there? That like just not doing anything.
Right.
You know, R2-D2's putting out fires.
Yep.
Han and Luke are actually like shooting at them.
Right.
You know, ostensibly, Chewie should be able to turn the control sticks.
It's true.
So
It's
that one
true.
I was surprised at.
So, but yeah, so it's one of those things where you, like when you notice, you're like, oh, that's weird. They're not doing any evasive maneuvers
No.
at all. And we understand like the only reason they sent 4 TIE fighters after him was because
they
they wanted them to
let
get
him
away,
get
with
away.
the tracking device and everything. But
But-
that doesn't change the fact that if you think that you're trying to escape, that you would be trying to do evasive
Evasively,
maneuvers.
Exactly.
So, step up your game, Star
Alright.
Wars.
Yep.
Jeez.
But I had the old critical goggle on, and I didn't feel that way though. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that it's not a set of goggles, it's just a goggle.
Oh
It's
yeah,
his
well, you
monocle.
really gotta concentrate.
British Jammy with his monocle.
Yes, this is quite a terrible. All right, so
Okay,
I think,
so-
Kara.
I saw this when I pointed it out. In the very opening scene on the Tantive, as the stormtroopers are running, the back seam of their boot splits open and you can see the black legging underneath.
I can never unsee that now because of you.
I'm sorry.
I've seen this movie about 1,000 times.
Yeah, so
And I
I.
never noticed it until you're like, oh, look, their boots are splitting open. It was like, no. And then it happened again. It was like, no.
Well, see, that's my biggest stress with cosplay, my Ahsoka boots specifically.
Yes.
Like, having
Well, it's,
them split in the back is the worst. So, I mean, I don't feel so bad now about it, but, you know.
It's a criteria for the 501st. It's not supposed to split in the back.
And
Yeah,
now,
not a single stormtrooper in Star Wars is 501st eligible.
No, at least not the ones that invaded Tatooine ship
right?
or Tatooine
501st,
ship.
you need to drop your standards.
But yeah, so the same thing, Chris. I've seen it a ton of times, never seen it, and now I can't unsee it. So
Sorry, guys, I ruined it for you.
It's a legitimate thing now
It
that I'm
is.
not going to never not notice.
Again, it's my critical monocle was on.
and so because you pointed that out, I started to pay more attention to the costumes, and
Yeah.
we also see it now. Never seen it before. Greedo's got like a clear neck seam on his costume when he's in the bar harassing Han there. And it's just like, I was like, oh, I love Rodians.
Rodians,
I even like
their
his
eyes are my
tracksuit.
favorite.
It's very
Very
fun.
gangstery.
Yes, it is very gangstery. The colors is very iconic.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I'm like, no, there's again that little bit of disbelief. And we know they can do a good job. We see the Ithorians, they have the big flat head in the front that like curves back and their mouth's on the side.
Yeah.
And
I love Ithorians.
great costume.
Yeah,
Can't
they
see
did really
anything.
good.
Yeah, they literally just do a montage of phenomenal looking aliens.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, this one's going to be one that actually interacts with the character. And they're like, just glue it shut.
Yeah, just leave me. I mean, like, look at even like R2 is great. He's just great. Or see, Anthony Daniels' costume's amazing.
Yeah. I never noticed until we started actually looking at, like, because I always thought he was just like cram-packed with circuitry. It's just like a black turtleneck with a couple of wires.
I
on
know.
it.
I know you're
So-
tainted from the prequels because you've got see-through C3PO.
Yeah.
See-through PO.
So,
See-through.
boo.
Oh my
Coming out next week, everything that makes this video terrible.
Right?
Jeremy's jokes.
His dad jokes. He's been working on them.
So, yes. And then there's one other thing. Again, this doesn't quite, it's not really a costume problem, but it's a wearable item that Jeremy brought up.
So, and this one has bothered me before on repeat watch throughs. There's a scene when Luke's practicing against the remote, and Obi-Wan hands him the helmet, and he's like, "No, with the blast shield down."
This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
With the blast shield down, I can't even see. How am I supposed to fight?
Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
With the blast shield down, I won't be able to see anything. Why would you make a blast shield where you can't see through it?
Yeah, because like, if the idea of the helmet is to protect you while something's exploding, you don't want to also be blind.
Correct.
Well, and in every other thing, when you see they have like the amber tinted,
Absolutely.
like goggly things or whatever, and none of them have a additional blast shield that flips
down. So like, what is that doing on the Falcon? Maybe
Yeah.
Chewie wears it when he's flying straight. He can wear it because he's just flying straight, but it just doesn't make any sense. I
Yeah,
thought,
it's like it's literally just existed as a cool blindfold.
right, as
It's
just a
like-
fancy,
I mean, you
plot
never
device
know when
for-
you're going to have a prisoner aboard the Falcon that needs to be blindfolded. So
But
you
also
gotta
have
use
his
the
face
blast
protected.
shield.
Right.
It's
You gotta keep him alive,
We don't
come
want him
on.
to see, but we also don't want to mess up that pretty face.
Put down the blast shield. So great scene.
Lordy.
Though.
Anyway.
So I think we're on to the actual gripes section. So that was all of our. Did I skip
You
something?
missed a section.
Did
We
I?
have
Oh,
miscellaneous
sorry.
one.
We're on to
Miscellaneous.
this is miscellaneous. Before we have actual complaints, we also have some more nitpicky stuff.
This
to
is
throw
you,
at
Chris.
I was going to say,
Go
I think
for it.
we have one. Each
Oh, yeah,
have
we
one
each
in
have
this
one.
section.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
we've all contributed to all of the sections, I think.
hey.
Look at us
kick us
actually
off, Chris.
collaborating. Okay, so in the miscellaneous section, I noticed now I can't remember.
on
off the top of
Tatooine.
It is on Tatooine.
Yep, 100%.
C-3PO makes mention of magnetic directions, like north, south, west, and east.
No, it's all right, but I think we better go. What's wrong with him now?
There are several creatures approaching from the southeast.
Sand people.
And who knows what type of magnetic field or how they orient themselves on Tatooine? Like magnetic orientation is very specific to Earth and the way
Right.
the Earth's magnetic field operates.
Right, like our north is,
Yeah,
up, and that's
yeah.
how we use it to define our location.
And
Apparently,
and it's like, and this is like, oh, so Tatooine, in addition to having two suns, also has Earth's magnetic field and orientation structure. And this coming from like we'd just gotten done sort of commenting about how good of a job they'd done in like just sort of like making it feel like a world of its own.
Right.
And then it's like, oh yeah, it's southwest of here, and it's like, what is southwest on Tatooine?
right.
It's true. That's
So-
That was
yeah.
a good catch. I had never.
And I was
it
like-
comes off so natural and so quick.
Yeah, so
It's like-
I'm sitting here with my monocle being like, oh, magnetic directions, house daddy. So
love it.
that was my
All right.
hypercritical catch.
Yeah.
Kara.
So this
Tell
one's
the
very.
internet.
This is nitpicky because they did an amazing job in other scenes, but the opening scene on the Tantive or the blaster bolts don't look great. Like everywhere else, the lightsabers look amazing, the blaster bolts look amazing, but when it's that huge just cluster of like blaster bolts in the Tantive, they just kind of look like garbage. Like you have some like shooting straight up and some shooting straight down, and others just it's like okay.
The stormtrooper accuracy is not perfected in that scene. Apparently,
According to Obi-Wan, though,
Yeah.
nobody's as precise.
I mean, they're sitting there holding their boots together. How can they shoot?
that explains it.
Hey Billy, did you bring the duct tape?
White. Why is everything white?
Yeah.
So that's just nitpicky. I just didn't think the blaster bolts looked that great.
So I'm going to add on to that.
There's one. Set for stun. You'll be all right.
We know that blasters can be set to stun because of one scene and one scene only. That scene, and it's never
true.
in every other one. No one ever gets stunned ever. Everyone shoots to kill except for the one time. Like killing Princess Leia would have definitely halted a major portion of the rebellion.
Oh, it would have killed. Yeah, the rebellion. Done.
So. The one time they're like, "Oh, I guess we'll shoot her, stun." It's like
Set to stun.
put that in the plot hole section, I
Do you
guess.
think Vader sensed though that Leia was his daughter?
No.
No.
I mean, I think. Well, I don't know. Obviously, that plot detail came in later,
Right.
so like they wouldn't have been able to set that up in the first film. But like, he definitely senses Obi-Wan. Granted, he spent a lot of time with Obi-Wan, but
Right.
like. And he can sense the Force in Luke, but not in Leia. So, like, there's a lot of inconsistency in terms of, like,
Right.
how all of that works, I guess.
Right.
But
Well, and then Dave Filoni fixed the whole plot hole of the stun being a thing because they used it multiple times in like Rebels and stuff.
Right, but in the main movies.
In the main movies,
In
though.
the
the
main
things that
movies.
I've seen.
Right.
And the things that the
Right.
normal Star Wars fan has seen, they don't use stun ever again,
The
which
normal
is funny.
Star Wars
Yeah.
fan needs to go and watch Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance.
Well, I don't have the time. I'm too busy making these videos.
I'm gonna
Right?
put toothpick or like tape your eyes open.
I used to know what those things were called, the things that hold your eyes open.
Oh.
But
I'm gonna buy some. I'm gonna set you down in front of a TV
no.
and watch all of Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance in one weekend.
Oh,
what?
jeez.
I don't think that's physically possible. All right, we're going
Here's
on.
gonna- fall
Okay,
asleep
so my
Oh,
my
Jeremy's
little
got one.
miscellaneous beef
Oh,
was
yeah. Okay, awesome. All right.
you see the scene when watch out, he's free, and then Han lets Chewie go, and he wreaks
In the
havoc in
detention
center.
center.
Apparently, they don't
Detention
trust
level.
the people who work at the detention level because there's like 30 cameras, and they shoot them all. It's like
15
boom,
times.
boom, 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 and then some of it's a repeat scene, just like
Yeah,
mirrored.
there's literally just 3 cameras that they shot getting blown up, and then they just looped it like 10 times.
So
We're gonna put
was
that
just-
in right here for you to witness.
Right.
Look out, he's loose! They're falling apart!
Look at all those reused shots. Like,
Ridiculous.
And it's like, it's fine, whatever. It's like, oh, we got to take out the security system, but like, that's a little gratuitous. Like, just maybe George Lucas has like something against surveillance or something.
Well, it's like instead of going to a shooting range, stormtroopers just bone up by shooting all the cameras. Maybe that's why they're bad. They're all that exists because no one can hit them.
yes.
So Han and Chewie just come in and blast them. So, but I want to personally thank George Lucas for making the special editions because that's where the real nitpicking starts. Or
It's
the
not even
real-
nitpicking.
Yeah,
It's
the-
legit 100% complaints.
So these are the actual. So all the rest of the stuff we said does not detract from
Disregard
the movie at all.
this.
No, great movie.
That
You should watch
You
it.
just wasted 14 minutes of your life. So here's the actual reasons why Star Wars is not the perfect movie. All right, so
wants to
let's
start?
Let's start with Jeremy.
All right. Well, you see R2-D2 hiding from the Sand People and hiding from old Ben. And he- And he's hiding behind a rock that wasn't there in the original scene.
was not.
That George Lucas felt the need to add at a later date, which adds absolutely nothing, ruins plausibility.
Right.
Because how do you get back
You
there?
have a
How does he
droid
get out?
this wide, okay, probably this wide, cranking into a hole this wide.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, how does that work?
He obviously used his jetpacks that you don't ever
He
see.
just sucked it in,
And those jetpacks.
Sucked it in.
turned sideways, snuck in.
So just the little thing, it's like, man, you had such a great cinematic movie before. There was nothing wrong with the scene. Leave it alone.
Yeah. There's plenty of places where they do add CGI where it's fine, and it's either unnoticeable or actually does help.
And it's mostly like ship scenes, though.
Yeah, and it's never when we point it out, it's always something that's like that's completely unnecessary. Somebody got paid to do that unnecessarily.
Yep.
So yeah, that's definitely an actual reason why.
I feel CGI was just coming of its own at this point, and so they're like, let's throw CGI into everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so speaking of CGI, there's a particular sequence that uses CGI that you didn't care for.
the whole Mos Eisley, is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
are so many unnecessary scenes of CGI, like just a CGI scene completely. Like
the in the original theatrical cut, it was just like speeder coming up to the city and then parking in front of the canteen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's an extended, like, it's like 40 or 50 seconds of just straight CGI shots.
Right. There's no dialogue. There's no action happening. It's basically just they're trying to build Mos Eisley, and it's like
Didn't need it.
Yeah, completely unnecessary.
Already did
I
it
mean, you
with
basically-
real footage.
Yeah,
Yes.
you get the idea right away from old Ben saying, "You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy." You get the idea of what Mos Eisley is right there.
Yeah, I never had a problem. Like, it added no new information to my headcanon by seeing the new stuff. It's like, yeah, that's just
and
more
it
crappier
looks
Mos
bad.
Eisley.
And it takes you
looks
out
bad.
of the movie because you're
It
going
doesn't-
from like real puppets, you're going from real scenes,
Film.
you're going from every film,
Specific color, everything. It's
to this CGI, not really well done movie.
Right.
So it just takes you out of the whole A New Hope, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's jolting.
Yes.
And
It
so-
is very jarring.
It is. So
Chris, I'm going to let you take this.
Okay,
one.
well, so since we're in Mos
Oh,
Eisley, there's
I think this is everyone's biggest beef.
the number one beef of any person who's ever seen Star Wars is the fact that they messed around with Greedo and Han.
Even I get bored sometimes. You think I had a choice?
Jabba, Pukpa, Kumpakni at Apampa.
Over my dead body.
Uchlenyuma. Chespokututa Krista Krenko. Yak Oscar.
Yes, I bet you have.
And then, so initially Han was the only person who shot. And then
Shot
the special,
dead.
and then the special, which showed him to just be like a stone cold cool dude.
Yes.
And then in the first version of the special edition, Greedo shoots first, then Han shoots back because apparently he wasn't a good enough guy and he has to be like, whatever, like disregarding the fact that he's already unbuckled his blaster. He knows that he's going to shoot this guy.
Right.
So it's like having Han shoot after Greedo makes no sense anyway.
Right.
And now in the current version that is available to people, they shoot at the same time.
Right.
And it's like, I think it's more disrespectful to Greedo to be like, have him shoot a stationary target 3 feet away and miss,
Right.
than to just
Right.
get aced before he has a chance to do anything.
Well, so somebody was at a convention where Greedo's actor was, and they autographed the page, and they on the like their picture, and on the bottom they said Han shot first.
Even Greedo admits it. I mean, it has
Yeah, like-
sparked a meme
Well, yeah,
library.
Everybody knows, yeah.
It's
that Han shot first.
Han's a scoundrel. He doesn't really have much of a conscience.
Yeah,
much
he takes
ethic,
advantage of the situation where he
Yeah.
can. That's integral to the character.
Exactly.
And like I said, it kind of diminishes Greedo's capability. If, like, how good of a bounty hunter could he have been if he can't shoot this dude that close?
Seriously.
You know, and it's like, so like in my mind, that sequence, Greedo never shoots.
Yep.
He just gets the drop, or Han gets the drop on Greedo.
Greedo was unsuspecting.
Yeah.
Han was sly about it.
They are doing, aren't they? They are re-releasing
They're
the 4, 5, and 6, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We'll come back to that, but yeah.
They better fix that.
They're going to release unspecial edition 4K versions of the film.
It is unspecial.
Well, yeah, it'll be unspecial.
If they do it.
If they do it. If
They
they
better
do it,
do it.
they're going to do it.
Do you know how much money they would make off of the more purist people?
Right. Well, which
They
is
would
most
make
Star Wars
bank.
and New Hope
Yeah.
fans.
Plenty, I'm sure.
So that's an excellent time while they're removing that first shot. Also, just remove the entire scene between Han and Jabba.
Right here, Jabba. Been waiting for you. You didn't think I was gonna run, did you?
I know they had shot it. We talked about this.
Yep.
Except they didn't know what Jabba was going to look like. So when it wasn't fitting in A New Hope when they released it, so it was never in there.
Yep.
But they had the footage, so they thought, oh, we'll add Han we'll add Jabba at a later date that matches the Return of the Jedi Jabba. But it does. The scene just doesn't work.
And well, and the Jabba does not match either.
No.
He's the
No.
worst looking Jabba the Hutt
He
ever.
is.
He's worse than the one in the Phantom Menace with the pod racing.
Yes.
I mean, the scene itself wasn't horrible.
Oh, it was completely unnecessary.
It was.
You know from his interaction with Greedo that Jabba's looking for him. There's going to be a price on his head.
Right.
And he needs to get
Yeah,
out of it.
that actually negates that Greedo scene.
Yeah, it's like, the Greedo scene becomes unnecessary if he has this interaction where Greedo's...
because he says,
It's true.
you're lucky I found you first, Solo. Why? I'm going to meet with Jabba in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know? Don't worry about it. Boom. Here you go. That's why I shot first.
Yeah, it's like...
It's true.
Yeah,
You know?
so...
And then for such just a badass gangster, Han like steps on his tail and like
Yeah, he just
Right.
totally disrespects him.
it doesn't
And
make any
and
sense.
that was a whole workaround because the actor that was standing in Han just
Hidden,
walked
yeah,
behind
right,
him
yeah.
and they're like, well, how are we going to make this work? He goes, oh, have him step on his tail. And it goes from like Han having kind of like a callous swagger to him just being straight disrespectful, which we
Right.
know that's not quite
right.
Right.
his speed.
Right. It's
Like,
true.
Jabba would probably just have had him disintegrated at
Right
that
there.
moment.
Yana da Puno.
Look, Jabba, even I get boarded sometimes. You think I had a choice? But I got a nice, easy charter now. I'll pay you back, plus a little extra. I just need a little more time.
Yes. And taking the Falcon for the money he owed him.
Yeah,
And then it
you know,
would've been
if Jabba were to be characterized the way that we understand him to be,
Chewie
from
dead.
Jedi, yeah.
Right. There
By
you go.
approximation.
So
Again, end of the
Or
rebellion.
proximity.
yeah, for sure.
Luke blows up the Death Star, but also himself and Vader and everybody else. Or maybe not, because maybe Vader would have.
Well, Luke doesn't even get off the planet. If,
No, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Well, he's not a bad pilot himself, though.
I mean, but he's only flown like ground speeders.
He went to the academy with Biggs. They used to fly in Beggar's Canyon.
Okay, they flew in bigger, and yeah, okay, whatever.
All right.
So then, I think this is mostly. I mean, it was.
I mean, like everybody agrees with this,
Well,
but you
no.
brought it up most vehemently. The
the
Dewbacks.
Dewbacks suck.
Yeah, didn't need him.
Like they had animatronic ones way off in the background. They
And those
had
are
their
fine.
presence. They're not integral to the operation of
And
the
it's
movie
another.
at all.
It's another added scene. Like
Yep.
I don't.
It's expanded. It's the
Right.
yeah. They just expanded the scene where they're like, "Oh, look, sir, droids." As they hold up an O-ring because O-ring means droids immediately. It doesn't mean
Because
it's like,
there's
oh,
no O-rings on ships.
yeah. There's no O-rings in the desert. It has to be droids.
Look, sir, droids.
I
So-
like things to be left to my imagination, and the Dewbacks
Yeah.
was a mystical. It was more mystical, or you could fill in the gaps.
Right.
You know, is there a herd of them? Is it whatever? This I wanted to. I brought up. Does the Empire keep Dewbacks on ships?
Do they
yeah.
rent them
Drop
when
them
they-
down?
Yeah, or do they go and rent them from
You know,
somebody?
so like if they're on Hoth, are they renting tauntauns from the local tauntaun breeders? You know? So it just seems like weird to have an animal on a spaceship. So it's probably on Tatooine, but it's like, why wouldn't they
imagine
just
how
use their
stinky that
speeders?
area would
yeah, exactly. So yeah, just completely unnecessary.
It was.
And so that concludes our list of all the reasons why. Oh, gotta take a breath here and say
Weight
Star
lifted.
Wars is a terrible movie.
I've done it.
So that being said, tune in next week for when we get to just talk nothing about how much we love Star Wars, which is going to be a far more substantial and much more important list.
Our subscribers might actually come back.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this list. Oh my goodness, watching this video. If you liked it, put a like on it. It shows that you're supporting what we're doing here. If you really like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. Come back and check out the other things we're making. We're making a video like this for every single one of the main Star Wars films. Come back and check them out. If you want to be notified of every time we upload a video, ring the notification bell. It shows that you really do care about the stuff we're doing here and you're all in with us. And comment down below what things took you out of Star Wars. I know it's going to be hard to come up with ideas. It was tough for us, but if there's anything that you didn't like about Star Wars that we didn't mention, or if you want to counter any of our points, put that in the comment section below. And, of course,
May the Force be with you.